what can our audience do about the market volatility? There might be a couple things like maintaining daily reporting, highlighting at-risk shipments, requesting customers to create shipment volume forecasts by lane. Like, what are some things that shippers can actively do to combat market volatility?
Yeah, good question. And I will tell you, a lot of this, would be customized by shipper and what their objectives are. So we have some folks that we work with that they want more predictability and cost on their supply chain. But then all of a sudden you see a market drop and now they want to ride, the wave of the spot market, so to speak. So as an example, I think one of the first things to do is assess what is your real strategy when you're looking at your market and how you want your transportation expense to be managed. We work with customers on a hybrid approach many times, that, hey, now might be a good time to, this is an ideal target for more of a contract pricing longer term, if that meets your objectives. And then we have some, especially with the lower market, that want to try to, ride the wave, so to speak, and are willing to take on a little more risk. It comes and goes, but you're spot on. I think a lot of it comes down to what they can do to combat it is make sure that they're engaged with their carriers, or their partners like an eShipping, to help understanding what's happening in the market, how that aligns with their strategy. And then I think also just to understand, who you're working with. I know that sounds like a very basic comment, but it's important to understand the carriers you're working with. How diversified are they? What % of the business are you to them, and vice versa? And how are they financially? So, to combat this volatility, it'll be interesting coming out of this, right? So we talked about Class 8 tractor sales are down substantially, most since 2009, coming out of the recession. And follow that period, we also, if you look back to that 2009 period, there was a substantial number of carriers that went out of business. So to combat volatility, I would assess, my current carrier mix, make sure they're financially viable, understand how they fit, how my freight fits in their network. That certainly helps from from managing the volatility a bit. If it fits nicely within their network. And, we've seen things in these last days where, from a cash flow standpoint, there are some shippers that, are looking at extending terms or maybe doing other things. That's going to have a very negative effect on a lot of these carriers. And so if you're in partner with a carrier that might be highly leveraged or not, that might be something that you might want to, look at, because that could create a challenge, right, coming out of this in the near future.